Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to Seeking Out Sunshine. Today, in our weekly WHIPS Strokes of Sunshine video, we are going to take a look at what I've been working on in my coloring books throughout the week, and we're going to try out a new fun background with some paper collaging. So I hope you'll stick around to see what I've been doing and to see this new technique that I have for you to try and just enjoy some time together. All right, so what I've been working on. In Millie Murata's Tropical World, I finally finished my jellyfish page, and I am so happy with how it turned out. Just a little bit more detail work from last week. I added some oil pastels, and then I added the rhinestone bubbles. So, love all that shimmer and shine for sure. Last week we started this page together and I was able to finish it on a future video, but we started the fluorescence with this seashell page, and then I did have another video where I added the rhinestones, so if you want to see that process, make sure you check that out. But yes, we started this with some fluorescence and neon colors, and I have been looking at some other options for us to maybe try out in the future, because I did have a lot of fun with this. I was not a huge fan of the Art Deco oil pastels, have not gotten them back out to try as of now, but did put some Mangao oil pastels in the corner here. Love those. Still would highly recommend those oil pastels. The jury's still out on the Art Deco. Right now, I would not suggest getting them with my personal opinion, but to each their own. And that is that page finished. In Magical Worlds, I did a little bit more pencil work on here. I pulled in some of the purple colors throughout and the browns, and then kind of started the blues with the water over here. I think I'm going to pull that over to the butterfly and then back over to these flowers, and then we'll just kind of see what's left. I am noticing that as the weeks go on, the Crayola Super Tips seem to be fading a little bit with this stippling technique that I used, so I'm probably going to add some more depth throughout some of the colors in the corner just to kind of pull it back in there as well. And I don't know if I'll do some shading within this gel crayon spot too. But again, this was a title page for me just to try out some different mediums and just to play with and experiment with. So that is Magical Worlds. And then the last two that I worked on, this one I don't know that I've shown on my channel yet, and that is Mountain and Wilderness coloring book. And we were watching a movie as a family, so I just grabbed this and took it down and grabbed some watercolors and just did a base layer of watercolors on this page, some granulating Gansey Tambi watercolors, and then another just regular watercolor set that I have, and I cannot think of what brand it is right now. If I remember, I'll try to put that in the description if you're interested. But excited to kind of go back and play with this and see what we can do with some other mediums on top. And then the last one was in Pop Manga coloring book, and I did a Gansey Tambi watercolor background for this one, and I hope to get this one done so that I can use it for Allie's Junicorn hashtag. So, because she said narwhals count. So we'll see where we go with that one. But friends, today I thought I have another page that I have been working on this month for my first buddy color, and I used this technique in that. I'm not showing that page yet just because I'm not done with it, and I kind of want it to be, like I share it with my buddy first. But I had been working on this butterfly page that you had seen over the last couple weeks. And as I started thinking about the background, I didn't know what to do. And then I was like, I think I'll do a paper background. So I had gotten out my tracing paper and was working on tracing the butterfly. And in my head, I was like, I should just jump on and do this on a weekly whip video instead. So I set it off to the side, and now I'm going to do it with all of you. Okay, so we did the tracing of the butterfly, and now I just have a couple of these church books that I got they're church hymnal books that I got at an antique store. So I selected a page from there And I already did this process, so I'm just going to kind of talk you through what I did, because I kind of made the decision to do this with you guys after I started some of this. But tracing paper, I laid it right on the butterfly and then took my pencil and then just traced the butterfly and cut the butterfly out. So that was step one. Then I picked out a piece of music that I liked, and I found this one that said "Beside the Still Waters." I just kind of loved that with the butterfly, and I laid the music down where I wanted it. So I was trying to center this in the middle of the page, and so I laid it down, and this is very, very thin paper, so this is easy to do. If you have a thicker piece of paper, it won't be as easy, but still doable. And then I just ran my fingernail along the seam of the book, and then that's where I cut. And then I did the same thing. I turned the paper around, lined it up, ran my finger along and cut down there. So I wasn't worried about like a perfect cut. If you want to use a paper cutter or something like that, you can. Again, that just seems like more time for me, and I'm probably going to go on top of this with other mediums. So if it's not a perfect cut, that's totally fine. And then down here, I just folded the paper over and then cut it there. So that's kind of how I got this. If you want to measure it out with a ruler, and make it exact, that is great. But for me, it's how can I do this quickly so I can actually get to the parts that I want to. Okay, so the next part you have to figure out is how you're going to lay this in the spot that you need it, so that when you cut it out, it lays on the paper and it's not like off to the side or something. So for me, again, you could get a ruler out and you can navigate, how many inches or centimeters it is. But I just kind of took one of these little tags that I put in my books, and I lined it up with the center of the butterfly here. Okay, so it's little head. And again, I am not so worried about like, is everything perfect and exact, because if you've been around here for a while, I'm really trying to get out of that. So I'm trying to be like, okay, this is art, this is creative. It's not, something mathematical that if it goes wrong, I'm really messing something up. And you can always figure things out. So now I can feel that little arrow underneath the paper. So I'm going to put the head of the butterfly right where that little arrow is, and I'm going to make like a dot, a mark. Okay. So now I know that that is tentatively, mostly in the right spot for me to trace this butterfly. So I can line it up where I need it. And I'm going to take a little bit of washi tape. This paper is really thin, so I'm just going to kind of get some of the stickiness off so it doesn't tear this paper up. And you can put it on your shirt and do that and just kind of get some of the stickiness off so it's not as sticky to adhere to that paper. All right, make sure my little butterfly body is in the right spot. And I'm just going to tape it in a couple corners here to prevent it from moving as I'm tracing. Okay. And again, you could trace this if the pencil is not dark enough for you. You could trace it with something else. I like to do the pencil because I can go in later and erase any of the lines that maybe are left over after I get done cutting. And the tracing paper is pretty flexible, so while I didn't tape down all of the sides, you do want to kind of make sure that you're continuing to move your hand around to keep it flat so that your pencil doesn't go underneath it by accident or move it. So yeah, this is a fun new little experiment that I tried this month. I'll come back and do that little bump at the bottom later. And I just thought I loved how it turned out on my other page. And so I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought I bet they would love to try this out on their coloring pages as well. All right. And I'm all about turn your page to whatever angle you need to make it work for you. But while I'm doing this, hope you guys had a wonderful week of coloring and creating and like just spirit filling. Hope it was full of sunshine. We had a busy week. My youngest was back on stage this week. He actually did an outdoor show. So where we're at, in the summertime, there's lots of theaters that do outdoor musicals. And so he was in an outdoor show of The Lion King this week, and I was out there with him all week with rehearsals leading up to his shows over the weekend. I do a lot of help with like the makeup for the kids and stuff, so that was a lot of fun. The weather was gorgeous. We had one night where it rained on us just for a little bit, but it wasn't bad. The show went on and the kids danced through the rain, and it was so much fun. So we are just kind of starting to recoup from that busy week we had, and he gets a little bit of a break now, and otherwise it was lots of World Cup soccer, as you can imagine. If you've been around here for a little while, you know that I have a pretty avid competitive soccer player in my house. So we are making sure that we do not miss any of the games. He's got a big pool with his buddies of who, like, you know, who can get the most points for predicting the most wins and points and all of that. So he's had lots of little soccer parties with his friends and watch parties and everything else. So we've been keeping busy with soccer, and then obviously this past weekend was Father's Day, and we had a good time celebrating and being with my dad, but then also celebrating my husband, obviously, and the wonderful dads we have in our life. Unfortunately, my husband's dad does not live close to us, so we did not get to see him for Father's Day this year. Okay, just carefully taking those off. We're going to do this last little bump here, but I think Father's Day and Mother's Day, they're just so hard to navigate because I think it means something different to so many. And, you know, not all of us have a father to celebrate with, or not all of us had a good relationship with our father. Fortunately, I hit the jackpot with my dad, but not everybody had that opportunity, or not everybody has their dad still. So I just had a lot of feelings. I think some of it is like what I'm going through with my mom right now, and realizing that there's just a lot of heartbreak in losing a parent, and then trying to navigate days like that where it's just kind of right in your face is hard. But okay, so I started this process without talking about it. So I just take these little crafting scissors I have. They're just easier to navigate than like a big full set of scissors. So I pop a little hole. I take the point and just pop a little hole in the middle, and then I just kind of start circling around to get enough space for me to navigate the scissors throughout the rest of the shape. And then now I can kind of start working my way up to the lines. And these lines are pretty faint, so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see them or not. But with this paper being so thin too, you want to make sure you're not rushing your scissors to where it could kind of catch and rip the paper, because it, like I said, this paper is super thin. But I've used it a lot in like journaling, or I've made some different crafts with it at Christmas time. I've made some different crafts and ornaments and different things with it. So it has been put to use for sure. I like finding old stuff at antique stores or garage sales or whatever and repurposing it. I think that it's just kind of fun to see, like, what could I now create out of something that has so much history. One thing I found one year was old bingo cards, and I snatched them up right away because in our family, we have a tradition that we play every Christmas. My grandma started it, and it's called Dirty Bingo. So when you tell people we play Dirty Bingo at Christmas time, they're like, what the heck is that? But it is the most fun game. So everybody brings like little gifts, right? Our family has kind of gotten out of control with us, but you bring gifts that you think the family would like and you wrap them up. And then for like the first however long, this sounds obnoxious, you guys, but we literally play for like 3.5, 4 hours. And it's the whole family. It's the youngins all the way up to the oldest person. But we play bingo, and every time somebody wins a bingo, they pick a prize or pick a present, and they unwrap it and they show everybody. Well, you go throughout the whole process of every present being opened, and then you set a timer. Usually we pause and we do like snack plates because we've made all the goodies from Christmas and treats and stuff. So everybody gets a snack plate and goes to the bathroom and stuff. And then we come back to the table and we set a timer. We set like, okay, we're going to play for 2 hours or whatever, or until this time. And everybody kind of knows what everybody else has. So they kind of are strategic in what they want to go for. And then like couples, well, like, so my husband and I'll be like, okay, what do you want? And what do I want? And like, we'll talk. My sister and her husband will do that. And then, my boys sometimes will talk to each other, but you'll play. And if you win a bingo, then you get to steal a present from somebody else. So a present can only be stolen 3 times. And then we say it's dead. Like, you can't be stolen anymore. So you have to be kind of strategic on when you steal it, because if it gets stolen back from you, you might not have another chance. So there's a lot that's involved in this, and we get pretty serious about Dirty Bingo in my house. But it's so much fun. And then at the very end, we the final game is Blackout. And at the Blackout game, if you win, you can steal anything, even if it was a dead present. So you're not completely safe with the things that you get until the very, very end of the game. But it has been like such a fun tradition, and my boys love it. I mean, they started playing when they were very, very little, like 2 or 3. And we all do a really good job of like getting things that the kids would like, but also the adults, and like, different things for the women and the men and so forth. But my family, we've never been a family that like just lets the kids win or lets them have, whatever. And I'll never forget when my oldest was like 3, he was obsessed with Star Wars. Well, he still is in a lot of ways, and my mom had gotten like a Star Wars game or puzzle, I can't even remember at this point, to put in the Dirty Bingo game. And he had won it. And my dad, during the Dirty Bingo part, got a bingo, and he stole it from my son. And he stole it just with the whole purpose of like, hey, we've got to learn how to navigate, when things don't go our way. Like I said, I've never been a parent that just lets my kids win the board game or anything. Like, this is real life. We're going to work through winning, because then it also feels like more authentic, and like it's just such a better feeling knowing you truly won. Okay, so you can see I just cut this out, and it's not, you guys, it's not like perfect. I can see little white spots, but it's totally fine for me. So the next thing we're going to do is glue this on. So I'll keep talking while I'm gluing this. But it was so funny because he was so upset that his poppy would have stolen this from him and everything. Well, I mean, at the end of the game, he got it back. But I love that we have navigated that, because now at the age that they are, they know how the game is run. They know that, hey, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose sometimes some years you get a lot of stuff, sometimes you walk away with nothing. But the true gift of the game is just all the joy and laughs that we have throughout the playing, and the memories that we make, and the funny things that people find and buy. Like, we will buy things throughout the year that are just like hilarious, or that remind us of some moment that something happened throughout the year. And then even like when the kids got to be a certain age, they have a buy-in, so they have to provide so many gifts or a dollar amount worth of gifts or something to the game too, if they want to play. And so they get really into what they're going to buy for their dirty bingo gifts. And I love those types of traditions and families that just create so many memories and laughs. And my parents have this huge table in their basement that all 10 of us just sit around and can gather together and play and all see each other. And it's so fun. It's so fun. But back to like the not winning thing, because I'm the mean mom, that like isn't gonna just let them win. Because again, when they beat me, I want them to feel like, man, I really beat mom, or whoever it is, right? And you're not always gonna win at life. But my oldest loves Monopoly too. And for years he would play me and he would get so mad because he would not win. And he was probably, I want to say maybe 10 the first time he beat me at Monopoly. And you guys, he screamed so loud, I'm sure our neighbors were like, what is happening? And he like ran out of the house and started running up and down our street, just like so excited. And he came back and I said, see, this is why mom didn't just let you win. Because how good does it feel right now to know that you beat your mom, like fair and square? Like there was no mom like giving you the easy way out, like you did this, you won this game. And that's what it's all about. It's about you being the driver and not just having things like handed to you, or have it come easy to you. Like I want you to know what it feels like to actually put your best effort forth, and sometimes you will win and sometimes you won't. And it will feel way better if you win when you were the person that put in the effort. Because I want them to be people that put in the effort. We say in our house, best effort, best attitude. And I want them to have that experience. So yeah, I think there was times where people would be like, why are you not letting your kids win, Candyland or whatever? And I'd be like, and it wasn't like I was cutthroat and like mean about it. It was just like, we're going to learn right away that sometimes we don't win. How are they going to navigate it later as, a young person or an adult if they can't figure out how to navigate it when they're little? You got to give them those small little moments when they're little to understand the big harder moments when they're adults. Because man, it doesn't just go from like 0 to 100 and you're okay with it. That isn't how that happens. So, but yeah, I'll never forget the day that he like was running up and down the neighborhood screaming. It was the best, and it brought me so much joy. I didn't win the game, but it still brought me joy to like see him. Okay. Oh yeah, I started this page this week too, guys. So there's that. I'm having so much fun playing with my Star Gold Joy pencils. I think I have it here. So if you haven't seen these, this is a budget-friendly pencil. I think this set was like $20, so it's awesome. And there's lots of great colors. But one thing let's see if I can get it all on there. I think it's all on there. One thing I really like about this is the first like 2 pages, I think maybe up to here or here. It comes in like these sets of 3. So it gives you a light, a mid-tone, and then the darker shade. So like if you're new to coloring or a beginner, or even if that's hard for you to pick out like what colors should I blend together, it gives you options to use. So it's like these 3 go together and then these 3 to go together, and it shows them on the can. I got like the 10 can of them. You can also get them in a pencil case. I've since moved them into a pencil case just because it's easier for me. But yeah, they have these little trio sets, and it's really, really nice. And then they have some other great colors throughout too. But yeah, I guess I took that with me this week and had a little bit of time to color out and about when I was waiting for things. Okay, so I had a little bit of a hangover here of the paper, so I'm just going to cut that off. Again, I'm not worried about it like being super perfect because I think I'm going to go on top with some other things, but hopefully that was okay that I was talking the whole time I did that. Hopefully you saw that process. And again, I just used like an Elmer's glue stick to glue it down. And I was thinking, oh, I also didn't talk to you about the antenna because you're probably like, well, now the butterfly doesn't have antenna. But I took a picture of this prior, and I'm just going to go in and try to like draw those in with a different medium because I was not about to color or not about to trace around those little parts. But yeah, let's see. I think maybe some distressed inks. We'll start there, and maybe some tempera paint sticks. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see. A little piece of scratch paper here. I need to make a, that's way too red. I need to make a swatch chart of my distressed inks. I have not done that yet. This one could work with it. I don't know how that would show up on that paper, but maybe. This is broken china. I like that one. Victorian velvet. Oh, I like that one too. Kind of just want to put a whole bunch of these on there. This is spun sugar. That could be fun. I feel like all of them, but this one could be fun, but I just don't know if it's going to be too many colors then. I feel like that's too olivey. Okay, we're going to try something completely new. So you guys saw me use my acrylic stamp holders with Crayola Super Tips. Let's try it with the distressed ink. So, and we're just going to go for it here. I don't really have a plan, but sometimes that's the fun part. Okay, I'm going to go with this Victorian velvet. And we're just going to, like I said, we're just going to go for it. Okay. I think it's making it look a little a little squarish. I don't know if I love that, but we're going to keep going. Let's use this one maybe. And do I want to use? Yeah, we'll use this blue. I like that more. A little more like blobbish. Okay, I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting my groove. Let's see about this yellow. Maybe, yeah. What do we think, guys? I think I'm gonna have to use a small one to get into the corners. So this is just, like I said, another fun way to do a background, especially these pages that just have like one big solid shape in the middle. It makes it, I don't think I'm going to do that one. It makes it kind of hard to determine what you want to do on it. think if I had the big stamp pads, it might give me like more juiciness to work with, but I go back to this color, I think. And then I also have some actual stamps we could get out and use. I'm gonna have to figure out, wipe that off maybe and see if this will go down on there. Let's see if I just get this side. This is so fun. I don't know about you guys, but it's just fun to get like your like supplies out and just play. It just makes me happy. Okay, maybe I will pop a little bit of this lighter color on. I'm gonna see if I can wipe off some of this color. This one has a little bit more juiciness to it, I would say. Do you guys have distressed inks? How do you use them? Let me know in the comments like how you use them. I like finding, if you've been around here for a while, I like finding new ways to use supplies, or like finding supplies that you wouldn't normally use on pages. I just think that that is super fun to be like, what do I have around my house that I can use? On a page. Okay, let's maybe, I like what's happening. I'm gonna see if I can find, I've got some of these that we could use here. I'm gonna look at them on this side though. I like this one maybe, but this is really cool too. I also like this one. I'm gonna take this one off. And I think I'm gonna take this one off. And maybe this one. Is there... Okay, let's start with those. I need to get... And maybe for this part, I will do more of the brown. Okay. Let's try this one first. I think this is the one that I really had my eye drawn to. So we're going to try this one first. And we'll see how it goes. You just can't overthink it. You just gotta go for it. Yeah, okay, it's okay. I think we need some more. I think this is gonna make it appear more like antique-y. Like we took a piece of paper that had been around for a while. See how this goes over the letters. I'm only gonna put half of the stamp on this one. That's cool. And then we'll come down here and do the other half. All right, I'm liking it. Let's do Just do like these little bubbles, but I might do a different color. This is pumice stone. I can't remember what this looks like. It's kind of like a, yeah, we'll try it. Sorry, I feel like I can't do this and talk at the same time. And now I'm trying to figure out where I want to put it. It's not a whole lot different than the gathered twigs. I think I might actually, I think this is getting in my way of where I want to put it. So let's just try it this way. Oh, that's fun. I like that. I don't know if there's anything left on there, but maybe we'll get a little bit off. Little speckle. Okay. Should we do the last one that I pulled out? Why not? But let's do that one, and let's pull this blue out. And I think I'm going to do it this way too, so I have a little bit more control of where I can put it down at. Fun. Wasn't that much left on there. All right, here we go. And then I think we'll take a little bit of the temper paint sticks on here, and then we'll probably call it done until I look at it and I want to add something else. Okay. Temper paint sticks. So I just have the King Art temper paint sticks. These are the ones that I will be using. I'm just gonna test out some different colors. How many of you have swatch papers like this that you just like leave laying around? I think that they look so cool. Once I have some that are so swatched up, and I'm gonna use them, I think, in other journals and stuff because I love the way that they look. I don't know if I have the color that I actually want in blue. This is where we might have to get creative. Let's see, what's this one? Maybe we have a green. Nope. I need to make a swatch chart and number these because I don't think they have, nope, they don't have names on them, and I just wish that art supplies would give you a color. Ooh, guys, there's a neon. We could pull those out next time. I need to remember that. I need to remember that I have neon King Art sticks that we can use. Okay, well, let's see if any of my pinks. That one, possibly. Was it this one? It's not. No, it was this one then. I wish it was a little bit more of the turquoisey. And then I wish I also had just like a really good brown. Maybe that one. I feel like this has a lot of gold, yeah, in it. Okay. What do we think, guys? I think I might just do... Sometimes you just have to go for it and not overthink it. If you think about it too much, then I just get like into like this paralyzed moment where I won't do anything because I want it to just be like perfect, and that's not what this is. This is just explore and have fun. Can't really blend these out a whole lot, so I don't know that I love those browns. Let's see what happens if I go. Yeah, I like the pink and the blue more. So we're just gonna kind of go back over those. I think I need a little bit of pink up here. All right, so I still have to go in and add the antenna up there on the little butterfly. But guys, I'm really loving how this is turning out. What do you guys think? Leave me a butterfly emoji in the comments. Two things. If you are still here, leave me a butterfly emoji. But also leave me a butterfly emoji if you're going to try this in your pages, and tell me like what page you're going to try or what book you want to try this in. Because I love hearing like how you guys are using what we're doing in our weekly whips. That's like my favorite, is to be like when you guys tell me what you're doing. Just makes me excited. But even better if you want to show me, because I want to be inspired by all of you. Okay, so I think that we're going to stop there today. Like I said, I need to go in and do the antenna again, and I'm sure once I look at it, I'll find something else, but I really like how this background turned out. I hope you will try it. I hope it gave you some inspiration. I hope you enjoyed our time today. I hope your week ahead is full of beautiful sunshine and wonderful creativity and moments that just open your heart to so many wonderful, amazing things. I am sending you all my love and sunshine. Bye for now.